Welcome inside 12-Man Studios for another edition of Higgins Hindsights. I'm Jacob Ersky and joined as always with Texas A&M head golf coach JT Higgins. Coach, thanks for coming in and congratulations on that second place finish of the SEC Championships.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Good to be here.
Absolutely. And, a strong performance, y'all's best finish in the SEC tournament since joining the Southeastern Conference 4 years ago. But you had to deal with a tough golf course and some tough weather conditions on top of that. Just talk about that whole environment y'all had to deal with this past weekend.
Well, we're coming off a poor showing at home, but we knew it's a good golf course for us when the weather's tough. When it's calm at Sea Island, it's kind of a birdie fest, and that doesn't really fit us very well. We're not a team that's going to go out and make 60 birdies in a tournament. So when we saw the weather conditions, we knew that if we had our guys ready and they were prepared and mentally prepared for the event and what was coming, that we might beat a lot of people. Just by showing up and being ready to play. Jack Nicklaus had a great line when he was playing pro golf that he loved bad weather because half the field was already beat. They just didn't want to be there. And I think there's just a lot of truth to that. And fortunately for us, living in Texas, we play in the wind almost every day. It's just we're happy when we don't have to play in the wind, what we're expecting to play in it most days. So I thought the guys did a great job of that, keeping a great attitude through it the whole way. We're all still a little disappointed. We felt like we had a great chance to win coming down the stretch, and Georgia just played a little bit better than us. But, there's certainly nothing to be ashamed of in that. We beat a lot of great golf teams, and like you said, it was the best finish we've ever had in the SEC. And hopefully a sign of good things to come in the postseason.
Absolutely. Hopefully some momentum in y'all's favor now. And you mentioned it, tough conditions, tough golf course. And it seems like with every SEC sport, one of the nation's best, 10 of the 14 schools, or teams rather, in that tournament, they were ranked in Golf Week's top 40. Just describe the rigor of that tournament as far as the competition. And y'all beat some elite teams, including the defending national champion and SEC champion LSU Tigers.
You walk down the driving range at Sea Island, and everything's in alphabetical order. So you've got Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, and you just get worn out. And by the time you get to Texas, you're like, can we beat any of these guys? So it's so intense, and there's so many good players, and all the coaches are great, and that you've just got to be on top of your game every second to have a chance to compete with them. So it's really difficult. I know every sport in the SEC is tough like that. But with that said, 2 years ago at Prairie Dunes, 10 of the 30 teams at Nationals were from the SEC. We're ranked 27th in the country right now, and we were the 9th seed at the SEC Championships. I mean, that is deep from top to bottom. I feel like we are a really good golf team, but so does every other coach. They all feel like they've got a team that's capable of winning a national championship. And so it's a good conference to be in as far as that you're going to have to play great to win it. But on the other hand, that you got to play great to win it. So you're not going to fluke your way into an SEC championship. That's for sure.
That team performance, that second place finish, was really anchored by two very strong individual performances. And you had one of your youngest guys on the team get fifth place and cart a 2-over. And then you had one of your oldest guys, one of the senior leaders, a redshirt senior, in fact, in Andrew Lister, also carted a 2-over for fifth place. Let's talk about Andrew's performance, because he's really had one of the strongest endings to the season, not playing to his level that he expects. Right. Doesn't get to go to the Valspar Collegiate, out of the 5-man rotation, wins the qualifier, has a strong finish at the Aggie Invitational, and then backs it up with another strong performance at the SEC Championships. Can you describe the way he's really worked to get to this point?
He's always been one of our hardest workers. He loves being at the golf course every day. He puts in at least as many hours on his own that we require out of him. So, he's putting in a 40-hour week of golf every single week, and on top of his schoolwork and taking care of his business. So he's an impressive young man. I know he wants it really bad. He cares about the team, and I think he took it personal when he didn't get to go to the Valspar. I can tell you that the secret for him is his driver. He hasn't missed too many fairways in the last 2 tournaments, and he's been putting it in play. And then he's just really he plays with so much determination and heart that, if he misses a green, he battles to get it up and down. He's always trying to save shots everywhere he can. So he's just a grinder. I don't know a better way to put it for Andrew. And when he puts the ball in play, he's got a great chance to shoot a decent score. So he's been fantastic. I know he takes it real personal. He was in the final group coming down the line. He felt like it was on him to win for the team, and but Georgia just outplayed us a little bit coming down the line. He did a great job, and I'm really proud of him and the effort he gave us.
Now let's talk about the flip side of that coin, the young gun, freshman Chandler Phillips, who really, especially in the spring, seems like he's played well beyond his years. Right. Spent the fall really getting acclimated to collegiate golf, and then again consistently, tournament after tournament, he is one of your stronger golfers, putting down a strong score. What did he do right this week, and are you a little surprised that despite his youth, he played so well in a big-time tournament?
And you hear this. I hear this from all coaches in all sports. By this time of the year, he's not a freshman anymore. He's played in every single tournament. He's traveled around the world with us. He knows what he's doing out there. I think he's, make a pretty good case. He's had the best year of anyone on our team. From consistency-wise, he's been our best. He always seems to be around the top 10, top 20. I can tell you that he's an old school guy. He doesn't really have a swing coach. His swing is not a classic golf swing that you see. It's homemade, and he goes with it. And if you are around him on a course and you start to try to talk to him about a shot, he goes, "Well, coach, I'm just going to hit 3-iron up there." And then okay, and he does, and it's a good shot, and he makes the putt and gets out there. He's an outstanding chipper. He has a great wedge game, and just like Andrew off the tee, he led our team in fairways hit this year. He off the tee, he doesn't miss too many fairways. He's not a long player, he's not a big guy. We actually call him the little fella, and he puts it in play off the tee, and then he goes from there.
The little fellow with a big game, and coach, as a team last year, A&M has turned into one of the most consistent and widely recognized collegiate golf programs. But last year, a disappointing ending to the season, as y'all did make the postseason. How great is it to get back?
It's great. It's awesome, but it's fully what we expected. Last year was a complete fluke. A lot of things had to conspire for us not to make the postseason. So, and unfortunately, they all fell exactly like they had to fall for us not to get in there. But we were still on a very down year for us. We were ranked 35th in the country and didn't get to go to the postseason. So this is what we expect. We expect to have a team that's up among the best in the country, and have, when you start talking about teams that have a legitimate chance to win the national championship, that we're one of them. And we had 7 top 3 finishes this spring, and came close to winning the toughest conference in the country. So I think that we're probably in that conversation.
May 5th, you'll find out where that postseason destination is, or where that regional destination is, and then that regional tournament played May 16th through the 18th. So a bit of a lull, about a 3-week lull before you'll play. How do you stay sharp as a team? And y'all have had some momentum this spring. How do you carry that on through that gap in play?
We're going to try to give them some downtime, because we've been on the go since January, and with lots of travel and missed school. So we're going to let them get caught up in school a little bit. And then we'll start building back up to try and get in our normal routine after this first week of just some light practice and having them play. But we'll play a lot more than we practice, and we'll work hard on wedge game and controlling our ball flight. I think we'll more than likely we'll go somewhere that's got some wind, and we want to make sure that part of our game is sharp. And then you always got to make sure your short game's sharp. So keep the ball in play. It's such an individual sport, though. Different guys have different things that they need to work on. Our 2 longer hitters, we've got to work on getting them a little more aggressive and getting the ball to the hole. Everybody else, we've got to work on a short game and wedges. So, but we'll get after all of them.
Well, stay grinding. Best of luck, and we're looking forward to see how this postseason shapes up.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
And the Aggie men will find out their postseason destination, that regional tournament destination, on May 5th. That's on Golf Channel's Morning Drive, and that regional round May 16th through the 18th.